Welcome back, guys. We are back with another video and it is time for a renovation video. We are back to building. At the end of the last episode, my sim just completed a successful renovation and we did get a promotion, and so we are upgrading the house, of course, because why would we not do another knockdown rebuild? So that's what we are looking at today, guys. And as you can see, I've got the general floor plan out. The house has grown quite a bit. We have quite a bit more money to play with. Again, we're not using any money cheats. We are just working with the money that we have earned from our jobs, which my sim has changed careers to the dream decorator, and the sim that is Cameron, he is continuing with his athletics career and doing really well. The basic floor plan of this house is one that I copied from a floor plan I got online. Obviously I've adjusted it as well to fit in the Sims world, but I'm just playing around with the sizing here so that we have some nice spaces. I didn't want it to be too modern. I sort of wanted it maybe 90s, early 2000s, so semi-open plan but still with some closed off areas. So I'm just figuring out the walls here. I was going to have that internal door towards the front, but I don't think we end up keeping that, so we'll see where that goes. I don't think I end up keeping that wall that's toward the front door there. I'm pretty sure we get rid of that and make that sort of an open plan space and keep the flow in that area, and then have the back of the house where the lounge room is as a separate room. But you will see that coming up very shortly. It's also, in total, it is a 4-bedroom 2-bathroom house. I use, obviously we have the master bedroom, we have a nursery, 1 bedroom is being used as a home gym, and 1 bedroom ends up being used as a home studio. So, and the one with the home studio in it doesn't have room for a built-in wardrobe, however the other 2 smaller bedrooms do, and the main bedroom has a walk-in robe and an ensuite. So there are 2 bathrooms in this house. Due to money restrictions, only 1 is furnished at the end of this build, so there's definitely still a lot of room to grow into this home, which I'm not sure as of right now when filming this voiceover. I'm not sure if my Sims will stay in this house or on this lot. I recently, I think it was either today or yesterday, watched a video where James Turner actually did a build in the Del Sol Valley town, and it was using 2 debug houses and then building a house on the lot to suit. I really like that idea of limiting the space and making quite a small lot and potentially downsizing these guys. I think one of the things I enjoy in The Sims is, you know, having a bit of a struggle aspect to the gameplay, and at the minute this house, you know, the gameplay that we've got at the moment is feeling a little bit like they've got it all, and it's not really the vibe I'm going for. I wanted them to have to, you know, work a bit harder, so maybe a smaller house on a smaller block could be the way to go there. But we will see. It's just something I'm thinking of playing around with, and maybe moving them into, you know, a smaller house, and if they go on to have more kids, maybe, you know, bunk beds and things like that will come into play, and we'll have to really think about space and size. So that is definitely something we may be looking at here. So there may be a move on the cards for this family, or alternatively, given that we do have so much opportunity in this game, we may end up starting a new series with a new sim, and maybe they can go live in Del Sol Valley and aim to make some of their dreams come true. And we could look at moving into that kind of lot there. Whether I download the lot that James has built or whether I do my own is yet to be seen, but I really thought it was a clever idea using the debug houses that you can find in the catalogue behind a couple of cheats, and then building a lot that matches them and essentially giving yourself neighbours' houses for free, which is something I hadn't thought of before. I have done the builds previously where you build empty houses and you can rent them out to roommates, or they can just be shells, but it does cost quite a bit of money, so your Sims need money to be able to buy the lot in the first place. Whereas using the debug, you get around that because they don't cost a lot of money. In fact, I think they may even be free, and so you can really limit the spend on just the house that your Sim will be occupying and maybe a few decorations, and you can actually do it as a starter home, which really lends itself nicely to gameplay rather than having to cheat money so that they're basically a millionaire buying this semi-empty lot that they're only going to be playing on one portion of and apparently struggling in. So you can see here I'm still working on layout, so I am trying to make it look a bit dated. As I say, I didn't want them to have the best of the best because it is still early days in this Let's Play, so I'm trying to really go with colours that, you know, maybe these tiles are the older tiles, they haven't been able to afford to do a kitchen renovation, so they've picked out the green that's in that tile and used it through the rest of the house to try and make it feel a bit fresher, and sort of worked with it there. But I'm pretty sure that wall goes quite soon, not this back wall, but the wall that's more towards the front door. Just here, I knew I wanted a fireplace in this living room, so I really wanted it to feel cozy and warm. It's not the biggest room, so I did go with the fireplace we got from Eco Lifestyle, just so that it takes up a little bit less space. And I'm just rearranging, you know, the windows and things here to suit, so we can fit a bit of a tile backsplash behind that fireplace, which I think works really nicely. And just to divide it, I do pop in a couple of columns. Now I do end up bumping that out a little bit too, just because it does intrude quite a bit into the room, but you will see that later in the video that I do edit that and I bump it out a little bit so we have a little bit more space. It's a little bit safer. Okay, so we've done the basic layout of the house. We've got all the walls painted, the flooring's in, and I'm just going to jump into my home inventory and get out in here the items that I want to keep. So add a couple of items along the way. We can get rid of the chair and the bowl there. Popping the baby in the front room, so I think that'll be a nice bedroom for the baby as he grows up. Just seeing what other bits we've got in here. Now this is when I decided to make, I think anyway, I actually decided to make that back bedroom that sort of comes off the lounge room into a studio, which, oh no, we're not doing that just yet. Yes, so I made the decision here to furnish the ensuite, given that the baby isn't going to use the bathroom for quite a while. We've still got toddler age to go yet, and other than the bathtub, which the parents will use to bathe the toddler in, toddler's not going to autonomously use the bathroom. So I've decided to spend the money on the ensuite and leave the main bathroom empty for now, and we will come back to that when we have a bit more money and we can afford that. But I made this the priority at this stage. As you can see, the toilet's separate, and so in this smaller space we only have to worry about fitting a bath and a shower and a sink, which I thought worked a little bit better considering it is such a small space. In here we do still have to use that wall mounted shower and just have it sort of open, so essentially the whole room becomes a wet room, which in hindsight I could have potentially utilized platforms there and done a step down into it, because otherwise that carpet would get drenched completely from underneath that door. But this is a Sims, so we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. And we're just moving into the kitchen, and I think I do end up using these new cabinets, but we will see. I love so much of the new content we got with the Dream Home Decorator. It's so simple, easy to use. We don't have a lot of counters like this that are just so plain and not necessarily one style or the other. I think they work in such an array of different like styles and genres, and I love that these pieces don't have the back piece that comes up on the wall. They're just flush to the wall when they snap there, which is amazing. I'm attempting to fit a dining table into this space with the kitchen and realizing that maybe we could do with getting rid of that wall. I was hoping to have sort of a separate entry foyer scenario go on in here, but I do quickly realize that it's probably just making a little bit too cramped. So I do end up play around with the chairs and the table and the spacing a little bit more, but I do end up opting to just get rid of that wall so that we can fit things a little bit more comfortably when you come into the house. Now I like how the kitchen is in the middle of the house. It's something I don't think I've ever included in one of my builds, but I did want to connect it to that back room a little bit more but still keep it closed off. So I'm just experimenting here with a few different windows, which I think is something you sort of see in older houses where maybe that back room was an extension and you've still got a pre-existing external window that now acts as that connecting piece. And I do settle on this window here because it's got the open element, which I thought was quite nice. You'd probably keep it open so you can talk to the person in the lounge room while you're cooking or washing the dishes. So I've popped that in there, and I think it really acts to open up the space from the front of the house to the back without actually having it as a fully open plan space. So here I'm playing around with that wall. I think I do end up just getting rid of it. I don't think it's there in the final floor plan, but we will see whether I am remembering that correctly. It has been a couple of weeks since I filmed this, so let's see how well my memory is. Yeah, there we go. So I've got rid of the wall. Oh, get rid of that door from move objects being on. It stayed there. And it just means we have so much more flexibility. So we can pop the dining table off to one side so it's not interfering with the front door, but it's got its own little space. And then we do pop in an island as well to make advantage of the split stove and cooktop, which I think works out really, really well. So we're just jumping ahead and we're in the master bedroom now. We're just using, I think I use primarily most of the new Dream Decorator pack in this house. You know, like other than the bathroom, but most of it is the Dream Decorator pack because I just love it. I love the style. I love how new it is. I think regardless of what the pack is, I'm always going to get the new pack in The Sims because of the build buy mode. So if you've got items in there, even if one or two, I'm most likely going to buy the pack because I absolutely love getting new things to use in the houses. This room is quite plain in the end, but that's just simply due to budget constraints because as you can see, we've still got a fair bit of the house left to furnish and we're down to under 4,000 simoleons now, so we are starting to get a little bit tight, and I was wanting to still include a walk-in wardrobe and have quite a nice lounge space, make sure they had everything that they needed. So It was getting a little bit tight towards the end, but we end up making it work. Now, one thing I will say is the new walk-in wardrobe pieces. I love them. Really, really love them. One, I wouldn't say complaint, one observation that does sort of bug me is that to be able to see them in your gameplay, you either need to use half walls so that when you put the other walls down you can still see them, or they just disappear. If you play with your walls at a cutaway, as I do most of the time, you're pretty much never going to see your walk-in wardrobe. It disappears as soon as the walls go down, which I get it. The overhead kitchen counters do the same thing, and it would look a bit weird that the overhead kitchen counters just float around, I suppose, when we put the walls down. But I thought with the wardrobe pieces, that would have been something that was considered and maybe corrected when they released this game. Maybe it'll come in a patch update, I don't know. It would be really good if it did, because I think it's something that we're all a little bit annoyed or disappointed with, sort of across the board, because you make these beautiful spaces and then during gameplay you can't see them, so it does sort of feel a little bit pointless. So we'll see what comes of that. They are pretty good at eventually hearing our concerns and updating that as we go, so we will see what comes of that one, I suppose. And I love this rug that we got with the Snowy Escape. I think it is a little bit small in the size that it comes, but I just sized that up using the short keys and pop it in the rooms, and I think when it's sized up it just looks so cozy. I love it. So that room was looking really stark. I mean, it still does, it needs a lot more work and decoration, but by just adding that rug, and it's so affordable, it just makes the whole room feel more cozy and inviting. So it's definitely one of my favorite things to pop in there. Just going through, popping into the lounge room now, getting that all sorted and figuring out where to put the last of my items as well. That will come up and we'll make that back bedroom into the studio space. So the new modular lounge is quite possibly my favorite thing that we have got in The Sims for quite a long time. It is something that I have wanted. I have wanted corner lounges, and you know, the ones where you can put your legs out. I'm not even going to try and say the name because I always get it wrong, for such a long time, and I wasn't sure we'd ever get it, but we have, and I am so happy that we have. It just, I don't know, it's something that I've wanted for such a long time. I think many builders in the Sims community have wanted for such a long time. You look at a lot of builds, and we have been trying to do that with lounges that we already have by just using move objects and sort of squishing two lounges together. Obviously not all of the seats are then usable, but by having this, it's just, yeah, it opens up the possibilities for styling rooms and just playing with your Sims in a whole different way in terms of the build mode, and it's just so exciting. I love it. So we are coming up to the end now, guys, and I have remembered to get some screenshots this time, so I have improved. So we're just here in the kitchen area. I really like how it's open but still closed off, so you've got a bit of that mix of new and old. There you can see the bump out for the fireplace that I added, and I've switched the lounge around a little bit, made it a little bit more colourful in here. In here, this is that back bedroom that was converted into the artist studio. The bedroom there, as I said, needs a bit more decoration, but that will come in time. And you can then see the walk-in wardrobe. There is the ensuite bathroom, looking so nice and fresh and bright. Here's the baby's room. Sorry about the clipping on that bookshelf, I will fix. And there's the overall plan. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks to anyone who has stuck around. I will be getting some more uploads. Sorry I was a little bit delayed in this one. I hope you're all enjoying. Please leave any suggestions down in the comments below. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys.